Hey there, this is Andy. I am joined today by Raj Thadani. Raj is from Ross and Mars International. How are you today, Raj?
Good, Andy. How are you?
I
Good to
am
see you.
good. You are down in New Jersey. You're sort of in the hot spot of the center right now. What's going on down there with COVID, with your company and your companies, and how's everybody doing down there? I know you were a little under the weather for a bit. Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, so I think both my wife and I unfortunately got hit by the virus. Fortunately, we were not hospitalized or we didn't have any issues with our lungs, but we did have a fever, extreme fatigue, lasted about 12, 13 days, and it was exhausting. And I think we're on the other side of it. Now I'm just waiting to see if I can get tested for antibodies or something to prove that it was that, so I know I had it or didn't have it. And but we're on the other side now, so which is awesome. It really feels good to be able to walk around and get back to some sort of a normal routine.
Oh, good to hear. I'm glad you're getting past it. You're officially, I think, the first person I've done the interviews with who has it or is just getting past it. Yeah, yay. What's it like down there being at sort of ground zero with this whole thing? What's your community like? What's the vibe like in New Jersey right now? Hopefully things are plateauing and you're starting to see some good progress maybe.
Yeah, I mean the numbers show some sort of flattening, as they say, but I think in general, everything's just come to a halt around here. Even the grocery stores are running out of stuff, and they've all limited hours now, and the governor requires that we wear a mask even entering any of the stores now that some new rules. So yeah, it is pretty serious. We do see our neighbors walking around, and people are just distancing themselves, thankfully. And schools are shut, everything's shut, nothing happening. Basically, as far as our facilities go, we have warehouses in here in New Jersey, in Chicago, Elk Grove Village outside Chicago, and in Torrance, California, outside LA. And all three coincidentally happen to be hotbed cities for for the virus. So we decided to close for a week. So up to date.
All right, sorry, we had a little technical difficulty right there. So Raj, you were saying that you had your people
I don't
stay
know if it's
home.
my connection. Hang on, let me just check which Wi-Fi.
All right, sorry, a little more technical difficulty. Raj hopped on to another Wi-Fi. So Raj, pick up where you left off. You were telling us you were having some of your people stay home. Your places were closed in 3 of the hotspot cities. Why don't you go from there?
Yeah, so being that we were in cities that are highly affected and very high risk, we decided it was prudent to shut down the warehouses and let people stay home. So we gave them paid time to stay home and stay safe and avoid public transport or carpooling and such. The warehouse team usually does that. And then, of course, even within the warehouse, we wanted them to be spaced out. And so this was a good way to do that. And this week, in fact, just today, we opened up for receiving off-lease copiers so the trucking companies and the dealers can start returning product to us, but with a very minimal crew, with just maybe 25% or even less of staff in there, just enough to handle the volume, which is reduced at the moment anyway.
Well,
So yeah,
sure. Just to take a step back, for those of you who don't know my friend Raj, my brother Raj, Raj is a fellow Patriot Pack member as of this year. Mars International was a major sponsor of last year's ride when we raised some money for the Jillian Fund, and Raj graciously helped organize a chase vehicle, a 30-foot long chase vehicle to support us across the country. Raj, why don't you just maybe take a step back and talk about what it is that you guys do with those warehouses and why they're open and what they're doing right now.
Right. So we operate return centers for the leasing companies to take back end of term copiers, MFPs, white formats, and any other devices, which the vast majority of them get exported. They go overseas, and then some of them, a small amount, stay domestic or get recycled. But so our facilities are in New Jersey, Illinois, and California, as I mentioned, and and those are the three locations where we see density of copiers getting returned.
Okay, and so you've just started opening back up. I guess it's a little early to say how things are going today. Now that they're back at the jobs, I'm sure some of them are probably feeling a little relieved to get back to work. Some of them are probably a little anxious. What are you doing to maybe help mitigate some of the issues they may be faced with? They're going into people's locations and where people may have the virus. They've got to pick up this equipment that may be dirty or contaminated. What are you doing to help these guys?
So in addition to the return centers, we have our own logistics operation, our own trucking company, and we also do provide dealer services where we do installs and deliveries for dealers and do all their builds. Now, so we've taken those three components, which is the returns of copiers, the trucking, and the dealer services, and separated the three to manage that in a way where the staff are always safe, and they use masks, they use gloves, they use cleaning detergents. We have a cleaning person in each of our facilities, each of our warehouses, that almost follows a hospital type of protocol where they continuously clean using bleach and certain materials to clean the door handles or the coffee pot handles and the microwave buttons and all that. So they're constantly doing that all day long in all our facilities. As far as the trucking operation is concerned, the truck drivers and their helpers are required to do the same. They have a protocol, they have a kit, and they self-clean as well as wipe down the machines. And as far as the dealer service aspect is gone, unfortunately, we're not doing as much of new installs at this point, but we do believe there'll be some demand for that soon. And there, again, we'll follow certain protocols to make sure that our staff clean themselves, make sure that the machine that's being set up has been cleaned before it goes out, and then the return copier is picked up and it's again cleaned on site before it loads onto our truck.
Well, safety first, right? Keep everybody healthy, and that's the main thing right now. As we're wrapping up, I do want to just remind everybody we've got another industry happy hour coming up on Friday. This one's going to be sponsored by Jenny Fisher of Great America, and Raj has also generously offered to sponsor one coming up in the following weeks, another industry happy hour. And then with the money that we raise from these happy hours, we turn around and donate 100% of that to local charities. We've fed some doctors and nurses. We've helped the healthcare system in Arkansas at this point. So thank you very much for that, Raj. Before I let you go, I know you mentioned a few things. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. Maybe you don't want me to ask, but I know you've contributed personally, and the companies have done some contributions in your local communities. Tell us about some of the things that you guys have done personally for the COVID-19 battle that we're all on.
Yeah. So when the stuff hit the fan, we were starting to think about how we could help our staff as well as the local community. So one thing was to keep our staff safe and offer them any help and assistance. And so we did that. We offered our own staff, whether they needed to stay home or they needed masks or whatever they needed to help them out. Our second one was to help the community out. And in doing that, we have a division that handles used medical equipment. And we had some ventilators, which, as we've all heard, are in high demand, in stock. So we donated about a fair amount of them, a big dollar value amount. We donated that to local hospitals. So that was one sort of initiative we took on. The second thing we did was we were, through our export relationships, we were able to get some masks and gloves and supply some protection devices, equipment. And so we ordered a bunch of that and donated a few thousand masks, and then including the much needed N95 masks.
Oh, wow.
And then the third thing we've been doing is we've been buying meals from local restaurants, small restaurants, buying 25 packs of dinners and donating that to local shelters. So this is basically intended to help the local restaurants a little bit, at the same time help the shelters out. And that's working really well. That's been received extremely well as well. So that's what we've been doing on our level here, trying to keep things going and helping people around us.
Well, these are the stories I love, and you're, just a dear friend, and I'm glad that we were able to catch up and have this chat. Hopefully, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to do the Jillian ride this year, but for sure, we'll be doing it again at some point. Mr. Stramali is not going to let us off.
That's right.
That easy, right? So
that's right.
Thanks for this. Anything last thing you'd like to say?
No, I thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I just hope this whole thing settles down soon so we can get back to some level of normalcy. I'm just tired and frustrated of not being able to go to work every day and follow a routine that I'm used to, and then the ride. And I should have been flying to Florida today for the ITEX, actually. I got a reminder in my calendar saying I have a flight to catch.
Yep, me too. I should be complaining how exhausted I am from going to Barcelona last week as I'm going to ITEX today. So right. What are you going to do? We'll have to do ITEX later. And, I'm sure Mark Spring is chomping at the bit to get that going too. So anyway, thanks so much, Raj. We will catch up soon, and you take care and say hi to everyone down there in Jersey.
I will. Thank you, Andy. You as well. Stay well.
Cheers. Bye-bye.